Hello, hello. Are we live? Let me put this somewhere so that I can see it's working. Hi guys. Are we live? Oh my gosh. I hope it didn't break. Please still be on. Right, that was not a good idea. Am I still live? I hope so. You do all that check and then you still get everything wrong. Right, let's see. Am I live? Hi guys, welcome to another RT live Q&A. Please let me know if you can hear me. Please let me know if you can see me. What is happening? Somebody let me know, please. Somebody let me know. Because right now, oh my days, right now, I just don't know what's happening. Am I live? Am I seen? It's very windy, guys. Am I live? Can someone please let me know if I'm live or not? Because right now, I'm just really not sure. Right, hello guys, can someone please let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, before I start talking and I'm not even being heard, I'm not even being seen. So please can you let me know in the comment section if you can see me, if you can hear me. Hello. Alright. Am I live? So it looks like it. Hi guys, thank you. Stressful, this live business, I'm telling you. Alright. You can see me? Can you hear me? That is the question. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys? Alright, fabulous. Fantabulous. We can see you clearly, but audio is kind of shaky. I don't know why the mic does that. What's the point of buying mics if it's going to be shaky? I didn't use the mic last time, but I didn't like the audio. It didn't sound as good as it does with a mic. But then this mic, so before it's a different mic that I used to use with my phone. This is actually the DJI mic, and for some reason, maybe it's only for inside. Because it seems like when I'm outside, it doesn't seem great. I'm gonna just try one other thing, guys. Let me see if this actually works or not. The sound is watery. Okay, hang on. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try. Because I didn't like the sound about the mic. It wasn't as loud, if that makes sense. What else can I do? How else can I do this? Is the sound still watery? Shaky. Can you hear everything that I say, or is the words cut out? If it's that bad, I will just take it off. I just didn't think it was good without the mic. But the mic doesn't seem to like being outside, clearly. Wait for you guys' feedback before I start properly. Sorry guys about this. Still only the second time using this new equipment, so it's just trying to get it right. What's yes? Yes what? I don't know what the yes is to. It still sounds the same. I didn't change anything. I was trying to do my other mic, but I won't be able to use it with my camera. Alright, I guess we're gonna have to do no mic for lives. And maybe only this mic is only good for inside. I don't know if people use this mic outside, to be honest, but it just doesn't seem to work well. Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? Is it the same still? It still sounds the same. Okay. Alright. Alright, what about now? What about now? It's just disappointing, that is. I wonder if I have to do it a different way. I just find it really disappointing that what's that for? You can hear me better or worse? Sounds better now. Sounds better now, but further away. I don't like it. Alright guys, I'm gonna go without the mic again. I didn't like it for editing a video because the sound wasn't good, but I guess that's what we're gonna do. I feel like I've lost something. Okay guys, let's start this again. Let's try this again. Hi guys, and welcome to another Ask T live Q&A. It's me, Tarima. And I'm here to answer you guys' questions about all things track, training, discipline, mindset, nutrition. So you guys have sent in some questions and I'm going to get into answering them. So let me know in the comment section below, how are you today? What day is it when you're watching this? How's your day been? So let me jump into the questions, guys. So the first question that I have here, actually, yeah, let me jump into the question and then I'm going to do some announcements in the middle somewhere. So the first question I've got here is from Shannon McAway 5493, and she says, is a crouch start with blocks faster than a standing start? Thank you. So this is a really good question. So I can answer it in a simple yes or no answer. Yes, block starts are quicker than a standing start. However, so there's a caveat, right? So the however is, that is if you are trained in using blocks, right? If you're not trained in using blocks, then block starts will not make you faster. However, if you are trained in using blocks, then the answer is yes. So in general, you would say that block starts help you get about a tenth off of your time, so to speak. Once you're proficient at using them, once you're able to use them well, then yes, it can help you to shave off up to a tenth of your time. That's around about the average sort of time that you're looking to gain from using blocks. If you're not proficient at using a block, if you're not strong enough, not powerful enough, if you're not able to come out with the right angles, all of that good stuff, then actually it will slow you down. So that's why block practice, having technical sessions, like I think I said last month, having those kind of sessions where you're able to keep practicing your blocks, get better at coming out, pushing off, get stronger so you can have the power that you need to push off. Practice holding that bridge of your hands, guys, because a lot of you guys struggle with that. Even in a crouch start, sometimes you guys struggle with that. So when you're in the blocks, you're up higher, so there's more pressure on your hands. So practicing that is going to be important if you do want to get the benefit of using blocks. So in answer to your question, Shannon, yes, block starts are quicker, but you're going to have to practice them and you're going to have to practice and make sure that you have the right skill, strength, angles, positions, all of that good stuff to help you get the benefit of using blocks. And like I said as well, well, not today, but I've said it in the past, in somewhere in the videos, lives, all of that good stuff, once you get to a certain age group or maybe level of competition, you have to use blocks, right? So some competition is the open meeting. If you're a younger athlete, if you're a much older athlete, you may not have to use blocks. But especially if you're going to do championships where they've got timing systems that actually takes your reaction time, then you'll have to use blocks. And because the blocks are connected to the gun or the system, so it takes the gun's time and your reaction time from that gun, and to make sure that you're not jumping the gun, right? So I hope that helps you guys. Let me know. And as you're jumping in, guys, let us know where you're watching from. Say hi in the comments, how you found us on YouTube, and we'd love to hear from you to see who's watching. Okay, so Tola Andrew 7636, hi Mumsy, she's online, asks the question about, so let me see what she asks. How do you manage to do squats on your bad knee? I get a bad one at times if I've been sat down for too long at work and I can't even put pressure on it to go down and upstairs. What exercises would you recommend to strengthen my knee? This is a really good question. So the reason she's asking, how do I manage squats on my bad knee? So I have a bad knee because I have a torn ACL and torn meniscus right now on my left leg, right? Now obviously when I first got injured, so it's been 3 months since post-injury, but I'm still pre-surgery, so I haven't had surgery yet. But obviously when I first got injured, there was no way I was going to be able to squat. I wouldn't have been able to do that at all. So first of all, the thing that I had to do was get like the swelling down, the inflammation down, and just be able to like bend it and straighten it a bit more. So obviously at the point of 3 months, I've almost actually completely straight. It's like, because I have a little bit of hyperextension in my knees, like, so my right leg can go past the straight, if that makes sense, but obviously my left leg is straight if I was a lot of other people, but based on my body, it's not at its full capacity, its full range like it was at before, right? Bending wise, I can go a bit past 90 degrees, but past that it still really hurts, so I can't go past that. So when I am squatting, which I can do now, which I couldn't do, I didn't even start trying to attempt to do that. I started off with goblet squats, and I was only going to 90 or just below, like sitting onto a box, right? So to be able to do that first, I had to increase the range. So if there's swelling or inflammation, getting that down. Sometimes people say, oh, their knee hurts at the front. Sometimes it might be related to having like tight quads or something like that. So just making sure that the muscles around the joints are, first of all, like, it's not just tightness. Obviously in terms of strengthening the knee, you need range to be able to do things like squats, right? But it is strengthening the knee, because the knee itself is actually a joint. You've got the you've got the muscles and the muscles and the tendons that attach, and the ligaments from bone to bone. So all of those things are the things that you kind of need to strengthen, okay? So you want to slowly progress. So you can start off with eccentric movement. So that might be a slow sitting down to a chair or a box, and then standing up again, right? So slow sitting down to a chair but standing up. Any movement that you do, it's really important to try to make sure, if you can be in front of a mirror, that would be really helpful. So like in a gym, sometimes, most of the time, you've got a mirror in front of you. If you're at home, have a mirror in front of you so you can see what your knees are doing, because especially a lot of women, because of how our hips are shaped, a lot of time women's knees like to go in, right? So now, to control the movement, you need to make sure your knees stay in line with your feet. So if you're doing a slow controlled movement down, making sure that you don't allow your knees to go inward as you're doing that, and same on the way up, making sure that your knees don't go in. A progression from that can be then a single leg eccentric. So you go down with one leg, again making sure that you control the movement, keep your knees straight, keep your straight in line with your foot and your hip, not allowing your knee to go in. One leg down, you can stand up with 2 legs, and then we will move on to like single, if you can do that. Then obviously adding weights is another way to progress that. In terms of like mini bands, doing things like monsters walk, people call them. If you're typing in on YouTube, you might look for monsters walk or mini band walks, where you have the band either above your knees, around your knees, or like around your ankles. Similar thing where you keep your knees, make sure that all of these movements is making sure to keep your knees straight, not allowing them to go in, so you actually strengthen, you strengthen in alignment. Then you want to work on quads and hamstrings. You can do them isolated. So for example, the leg extension machine and the leg curl machine, you could use those. Abductor and adductor machines are really important, especially work those adductors as well. A lot of people's, most times your adductors are much weaker than abductors, right? But it's working both of those. So you've got the muscles, adductors are the inner thigh, abductors are the outer thigh, and you can say glutes as well, right? And then the muscles that help to bring your leg away from the center, your center, adduction is in the movement inwards. So those are some starting points. Let me know if that is helpful as a starting place to be able to strengthen the knees. But a lot of it is making sure that you keep the knee straight. But before you can do, if you can't bend and straighten your leg, you can't put pressure on your foot, of course you can't squat. So first of all, it's going to be the basic things of like resting it, icing it, elevating your foot when you're sleeping, elevating your foot at home to get down like any inflammation and swelling that there is, and then like just trying to get range of movement. So it could just be stretching initially, it could just be trying to bend and extend like more and more so that you have range. And again, might be just getting some massages sometimes, or self-massage, or using a massage gun to just ensure that your muscles stay loose enough, right? All right, I'm glad that's helpful. Good to hear it. Right, I don't know how long this battery is gonna last because I did charge everything. I will try my absolute best, guys, but we'll try and get through everything today. Okay, so Mohit Chola 9791, hey, this is my YouTube brother. Haven't heard from you for a long time, to be honest. He says, how is your healing coming along? Thank you for asking. So I did touch on my knee a little bit already so far. It's been a hard journey, guys. I can't even lie to you. And like I said, I haven't even had surgery yet. So yes, so obviously like at the point of 3 months, I didn't expect every time I see the surgeon him to tell me I'm not ready to have surgery yet. It's not something that I thought was a thing, but there's like stages and tick boxes that you need to tick to be ready for surgery. So prayerfully, when I see him next week, he will tell me that I'm ready so that I can move on to the next stage, because being in this pre-op stage for such a long time has been hard, and it's kind of just like being in limbo for ages. But obviously I thank God that I'm able to have more range than I did initially. I'm obviously not in as much pain as I was at the beginning. Sometimes I can be in a lot of pain if I happen to have been on my foot more than I should have been. If I happen to like knock it or bend it too much or something like that, then it can be really, really painful. But other than that, on a normal day, I'm not like in constant pain. It's just the fact that I don't have a ligament, so therefore I don't have stability. And sometimes if I'm not really concentrating, my knee just gives way on me, which has done quite a few times this week. I think I started to get a bit excited because I've been doing rehab now, and I can feel my leg is starting to feel stronger again. Then I start feeling strong and forgetting that you don't have a ligament. So the ACL stops your knee going too far forward, so my knee will go too far forward and it like kind of snaps back, and then I go oh like that. But yeah, so thank you for asking. But yes, that's how my healing is going, and prayerfully there will be some sort of change in the journey from next week, or at least I'll find out. Well, I pray so anyway. Guys, if you have any questions while we're on the live, then feel free to drop them in the comment section and I will answer them. I do look at the chat, I do answer the chat, so if you've got questions, then you can let us know. Before I get on to the next question, I just wanted to invite you guys to our winter walking challenge. It is a 6-week step challenge. If you're someone who liked a bit of a challenge, like to meet new people, community, it doesn't matter where you live, guys. It's not something you have to come to. All you need to do is have a phone, a smartphone, a smartwatch, a smart ring, something that can track your steps, right? And once you register, you join our leaderboard, our Steps app leaderboard. You join our WhatsApp groups. You're part of the community, and we begin to be able to see your steps. And there's amazing prizes. So each week we see who's the top 3 walkers of the week, their allocated points, and each week we also do bonus challenges which gives everybody a chance to win points. So it's like a bit of a game. We kind of have a game with it. It's lots of fun, and over the weeks you start to collect points or lose points depending on the challenge, right? That makes it a bit fun and makes it a bit spicy. And at the end of the time, we'll see whoever has the most points, they will be crowned winter walking champion 2025, and they will win the prizes. So the prizes are really, really good. So make sure, if you're interested in that, Naomi will put the link in the description for the walking challenge. Like I said, if you run already, if you walk, if you step, but as it gets colder, a lot of us like to be a little bit lazier. Obviously my channel is dedicated to sprinting, and a lot of you guys are still going to be training, but sometimes even athletes can feel lazy, right? Even people who are into sprinting, into fitness, can feel a bit down. So having another kind of competition that you can just slip into your everyday life just helps to keep you extra motivated. So if you're interested in that, then make sure that you register. We start on Monday the 3rd of November, which is literally this Monday coming. And if you're watching it after the fact and it's still the first week, then still feel free to join, because you're not too far behind and you can still win points. And to be fair, all you have to do is sync up your app anyway, and we'll see your points for the week, so that'll be fine. So Just Precious Official asks, what is your favorite food? What a good question. So maybe like when I was younger, not like super younger, but like, I don't know, teens or whatever, teens, early 20s, if you ask me what's my favorite food, then if it was a test, you just had to say Thai. However, I don't think I actually have ever had a favorite food. I just like food, and anyone who knows me knows I just like food. But I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, right now I really love dim sum. Like, I love dim sum. I can eat it all day. I can eat it all day, every day. So I'm gonna say that as my answer for at present. It's something that I'm really enjoying that I really like. So dim sum and udon noodles, I really like them. Yeah, so maybe I'll say that for now. What is your favorite food? Drop it in the chat. You know what I find about these lives, guys? When I do them on the shorts, you guys are really, if I do it like shorts, what's it called, vertical, you guys are really interactive, and then when I do it this way, you guys are not so interactive, like, you're not. But it's all good, it's all good. I guess today will be a short live, I guess, if you guys don't have any questions. Okay, Michael Blount 2522, I presently struggle with getting my knees as high as yours. What exercises can I do to correct this? Okay, so we're talking about knee lift here and how to improve knee lift. He commented this question underneath one of my, oh dear, am I still here? Oh no, I can't see the chat anymore, guys. I don't know where it's gone. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh no, where's it gone? I keep seeing it and losing it. Okay, there it is. Praise God. Okay, I see your question. I'll get to it in a second. Knee lift. We're talking about knee lifts, technology. I just want someone else to hold it, or I need to get a screen so I can see your questions up here, and I don't have to look down and touch anything. All right, knee lift. So he commented underneath one of my videos about hurdle drills, right? So knee lift is obviously important for sprinting. It's not just for fashion. We don't just get our knees up for the sake of it. Like I like to tell my athletes, like, it's actually for a purpose. So essentially, the higher you get your knee, the more time and distance you have to be able to create force, right? So you can produce more force, essentially. To be able to get your knees up, you obviously need to have good hip flexor strength. So that's why you see sprinters have good hip flexors, right? And if you don't have it right now, then it's something that you will build and that will come and that you have to strengthen to be able to get it up. Obviously there's other factors to that as well. However, what exercises can you do to correct this? So hurdle drills itself are going to be good ways to help you to start practicing getting your knee up. Drills, like I said, that's why we do drills, how to practice certain movement mechanics for sprinters. So for example, the A skip is essentially the first movement of sprinting when you get your knee up, right? So if you're doing if you're doing your drills with low knees, you're defeating the purpose. You need to try to execute your drills with intention. Yeah, I keep saying the word intention. It's something that we have under Pure Coaching, which is my coaching business. We have we've got like an elite sprinter framework, and the I, ELITE, the I is for intention. So how we do things, we say there's ABCs of intentionality, but when it comes to A, attitude towards training, intentionality, so not just how you turn up in training, but also how your attitude towards how you execute every movement in training. So when you're doing drills, there's no point just doing it for the sake of doing it. Oh, la 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 la. If it's gonna do la la la, there's no point doing a drill, right? So if you're doing a drill, A skip, high knees, do it with intention, do it the way that you would want to, how you want your body to move when you're sprinting. Okay, that's the whole point. So drill is a good way. Hurdle drills are a good way, right? Then you can do specific like exercise. I think I do have a video about this exact question. I think someone asked me before, and I've got another video about it. So type in like hip flexor strength, type in something about high knees. I've got loads of videos on my channel, guys. I know I've answered this question before, so I give like specific exercises to help strengthen your hip flexors. I think that's a video, and also another video as well. But I've got like resistance band exercises that you can do. So in that regard, there's different exercises, but like I said, the basics of starting with the hurdle drills, with the drills, going to be great ways to help you improve that knee lift. And it's just being intentional again when you are running in training, sprinting in training, thinking about your technique, not just running and your head shaking, arms are going everywhere, knees are low. It's like also trying to execute your runs with intention, having technical days like I said before, as well as your fitness days, so your speed endurance days, so to speak, your pure speed days, so to speak. So just really thinking about the structure of your training. And if you guys want help with that, and I say help with that, you actually want someone who can give you a program, a personalized program, a specific program that's going to help you touch on a different aspect of your sprinting, so you know that you're doing the things you need to do. You want a qualified coach, someone who's been in the sport for decades, who knows what I'm talking about, who's competing for their country, all of that good stuff, guys. Then just contact us. That's what we do here at Pure Track Coaching. I'm Tarima Thompson. That's my business. This is my channel. But we are a business. We have a coaching business. We have athletes and clients that we coach. So whether you want to do that with us in person or online, then check us out. Go to tarimathompson.uk/coaching and you can see the options there. So I know there was a question in here. It was from Where XD Mains. Did I say it right? Sorry. Question is doing 23.9 in my first ever 200 meters. Good. Yeah, in your first ever 200 meters. Yes, that's very, very good. How old are you? Where XD Mains, how old are you? Very good question, and yes, that is very good for your first ever 200. That is very good. Captain Britain, hello. How often do regular sprinters train with sprints per week? I don't mean pros. Is there a huge difference between 2 times a week to 3 times a week? Regular sprinters versus pros. So funny question, because even the term pro in sprinting is because someone can be like even competing for their country and not be considered a pro, because technically speaking in the world of sport, being a pro is that you're getting paid to do what you're doing. But in sprinting, in athletics, you can literally be the best in your country and not be getting paid for what you do. So it's a funny question. So I want to answer your question, but when you say normal sprinters, I don't know what you mean, because like I said, from young athletes to older athletes, you can be at club level, national level, international level. When we say normal sprinters, what does that mean? I'm not sure. However, you will find that maybe 3 times is more what the average of normal sprinters, so to speak, and then maybe pushing it to 4. 5 would be a lot, to be honest, because of, well, a lot of time most athletes have some sort of history injury, so 5 times a week sprinting might be a lot. You train that much, you might train 5-6 days, but 5 times a week sprinting might be quite a lot for maybe more than half of the sprinters. But the difference between 2 and 3, I would say it is a lot because the amount you're able to do, right? And also bearing in mind, it depends what you do in those 2 sessions, and it depends what you do in those 3 sessions. So 2 to 3 is a lot in the sense that, let's say there's a lot of things to fit in when you're sprinting, a lot of different elements to touch on. to cover, right? But if you're sprinting twice a week, it's like, what are you able to do in a twice a week? You might be able to do like one long speed endurance session and maybe one technical session, which is okay. But sprinting is it's skill based, but also the more you, it's one of those things that the more you do it, the better you get at it. And especially if you're starting very, very late and you don't have a year, like, okay, I should say this as well. Someone who has a long history of sprinting, so let's say somebody like me, if I sprint 2 times a week, it's not equivalent to someone who's just starting sprinting 2 times a week, because I've got such a history of sprinting under my belt that my body knows how to do certain things already. So 2 times a week, maybe let's say if I've got an injury problem or something and I can only do 2, it's not equivalent to someone who's just starting doing twice, because they are not at the same skill level, the same efficiency level, the same like power level, like all those different things that allows them to get the same benefit out of those 2. So it does depend, but obviously there is a difference between 2 and 3 because of the amount of stuff you're able to cover, and obviously fitness wise you get fitter quicker and you get specific fitness quicker as well. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Captain Britain. Pros as in not full time. Yeah, but that's a problem because you've got athletes who are not it's still what I said before, because pros as in not full time is, yeah, like what's full time? Because yeah, like what I said before, like I said, because someone who's trying to, let's say you're trying to qualify and you're trying to make a team, but you're not a pro, you still have to train like a full-time athlete. That's why it's so hard. So that's why I said it's not like what's normal. I still stick to what I said before, but yeah. Where XD mains. I am 20. I just started track. My 100 meters is 12:28. I have a cross gait, so my technique sucks. Well, 23.9 doesn't matter how old you are and who you are. Starting there, that is very good, because it's not easy to rub sub 24. So the fact that that's where you started, we've never done it before, that's actually really good. So imagine if you train, imagine if you fix your technique, imagine if you improve your fitness, then you could take off a lot of time. You get stronger, you know, you open up your stride, like a lot of things you can get a lot faster. So that's actually really, really good. Yeah. Big up Thema from Russ. Thank you, Russ. But my name is Terima. That might be a typo. LOL. All the strongest sprinters I met were ex-gymnasts. Also, for example, no Lyles and training age. Yeah, training age. What are you talking about with regards to training age? But all the strongest sprinters I met are ex-gymnasts. I did gymnastics when I was young as well. I think gymnastics is a great foundation. But to be honest, gymnastics and athletics for pretty much most sports are great foundations. Gymnastics, why it's so good, it makes you so strong, is because of the amount of like conditioning you do, the amount of floor, like the amount of obviously most of it's body weight, right? But you get so good. Do you know how everyone's into calisthenics now? But that's basically like gymnastics training. Like when you're young, if you start young and you're able to like move your own body weight, you're able to do pull-ups, press-ups, throw your body around in tumbles, you become very strong. Your core's amazing. Like, so yeah, it's really great. It's really great. LOL. No, it's alright. Russ. And then I guess I know AB's talking about recreational athletes. I'm just being so, what's the word, like facetious, because just to make it known that like someone can literally not be a pro and be like at that level, just to make that known. And also to get to that level you have to train like that. You can't just you don't just suddenly become that. So there's got to be a point where you're training like a pro even if you're not getting paid for it, because otherwise you're not going to get there. Like that is the catch-22 cycle that we got in this sport. So yeah. Terima, I know someone else called Thema, got confused for a moment. LOL. It's alright. Let me know if you met anyone else called Terima, because to this day I still have not met anyone called Terima. I have met somebody called Terina. That's about the closest. And obviously now I know there's some Chinese company and some movie, but I was born before them things, so you know, I still have not met anyone. So if you meet someone today called Terima, they got the name from me. I'm joking, but my name is my parents' initials. Fun fact, my parents' initials all put together there. So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. All right, guys. Any other questions? How is your training going? How are you guys training going? What are you doing at the moment, training wise? Let me see. So I also want to keep losing stuff. I shouldn't touch anything, then I lose it. Oh dear. Sorry guys. Alright, am I still live? I hope so. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you have any more questions and if I answered your questions. If I haven't, I'm very, very sorry. But yes, I'll give you guys a few more moments, a few more minutes to like answer your questions if you want to. And I will just let you know about our Pure Track Speed Camp. If you have not heard about it so far already, I'm going to remind you guys that registration is open for the 2026 Pure Track Speed Camp, which is taking place in January, the third full week in January. So if you haven't signed up for that and you're interested in it, then make sure you do, because we're going to have such a great time. We went in January this year, we went to Tenerife. Tenerife is the plan again for January. And if you're someone who wants to get out of the cold in January, break up your winter training, you want to have some professional input, some coaching input, be with other like-minded people and just enjoy a beautiful island, then make sure that you check us out, guys. All right, plans for 2026. My plan for 2026 is just to get back to full what's it called, full fitness. Obviously right now I'm carrying a severe injury. I've got an ACL tear and a meniscus tear, so prayerfully I would have had surgery and be on the full road to recovery and get back to my absolute best. Because guys, this year you're looking at UK #1 for women 35 to 39. I just thought I'd throw that in there. But no, this year I had a great season. So running times, I haven't run for 14 years. I ran 11:55 this year, windy, 11:67 legal. And to do that at 35 years old is something I'm very, very grateful for. And to get injured so severely immediately after a race, and it's not even being something because it was like a training injury or because it's something that you know, like from a movement, from actually like an accident. So it's a hard injury to have, to comprehend, to get over, like to overcome. So yes, that is my plan for 2026 by God's grace, is to get back to full recovery, get back to my absolute best, and then be able to, you know, start pushing back on from there. So thank you for that question. Russ, what are your plans for 2025? Oh my god, you guys are so quiet today, honestly. So quiet today. Yes guys, well, if you guys are going to be so quiet today, then I'll be quiet today too. How do you know if your training is getting you faster without running an all-out race? Is there a way to gauge your progress? Yeah, of course, you can. How do you know if your trainer is getting you faster without running an all-out race? Is there a way to gauge your progress? So you can do parts of the race. So like you'll time parts of your race. So most of the time you're not gonna. It depends. Most of the time you're gonna time. But you can time parts of your race. So you look at different sections. So your 10, 20, 30, your flying runs, your longer runs. So running a full out race is not the only way to know if you're getting faster, but you will time, usually like you fitness testing. So fitness testing might be, some of it's in the gym, some of it's on a track. So like I said, part of your race. But then again, like your question before, if you only have 2 sessions a week, then it limits how much you're able to do in a session, and it depends how long your session is as well as to how much you can do. So it makes more sense to do a bulk of training and then do testing, than rather than just try to test so every week, because you haven't given yourself enough time for your body to actually adapt. So that's a good question, but yeah, that's how you test. So you do tests, but if you're going to do a test, then you need to be fresh for the test, otherwise it's not a fair test. And so you have to, if you're having a testing day, then you'll know you have a testing day so you can prepare for it, and then you would test like that. So you test parts of, you don't have to do a full out 100 as the only way to know if you got faster. You can measure sections of your race and stuff like that to work it out. What's your opinion on of Charlie Francis? I don't think I know who you're talking about. Maybe if you jog my memory, if you point me in the direction of who you're talking about, because sometimes names doesn't mean anything to me until you put my brain in the right category. Who's Charlie Francis? The name seems familiar, but I honestly can't think about who that is right now. And his training methods, is a coach, and his training methods that have influenced a lot of track and strength conditioning coaches. Charlie Francis. I'm not sure. Then I can't answer. Sorry, Russ. What's your opinion on Charlie Francis? I'm mixing up two people. That's why I think the problem is I'm not sure who Charlie Francis is. I'll be honest. Ben Johnson. Oh, okay. Ben Johnson, former coach. I don't have too much of an opinion. I'll be honest, because I don't know too much. You find with me, I know that a lot of people are like really into like, because I have a different background. Like I didn't come from the. It depends what your route into the sport was like, or training or coaching. If you was more like the book first, then you sometimes know all these things more. So I don't really have that much of an opinion because I've not really. I know there's a lot of, not say a lot, but there's certain coaches that influence a lot of people's training methods. I don't always necessarily like know a lot about the person or go into the whole thing, but I might. If I think a method is good, then maybe I'll take it. But other than that, I don't have much opinion. Strength and conditioning coaches. Sorry, Russ, I can't really answer that question. Would you recommend an all-out race, say once a month? Not all-out race, but once a month for fitness testing is a good idea. So for most of my clients, I actually do that. We have not done that, Captain Britain, because like I said, maybe we haven't had that much time to. Especially, it depends how quickly someone picked up something before you start just testing it all the time. My personal opinion. But once a month is a good time to test, especially like maybe through the winter. But I wouldn't necessarily say an all-out race. It wouldn't be an all-out race in September, October, November. Not really. It might be parts of the race, or it might be. Whatever training you're doing at that point, like a longer speed endurance run or something like that, not necessarily an all-out race. So might be a disappointing answer, but if it's something you really want to do, you can always do it, but that's not really what I tend to do. But it's something that if somebody wants to do that, there's nothing stopping them from doing that whatsoever, and it's something that can be done. But one of the reasons we wouldn't do that necessarily in winter is because it's too cold. Like it's too cold to like do it all out 100. Like it is. That's usually why. Most of his theories were about the CNS and its effect on max effort sprinting and strength training and regeneration. Okay. What are your thoughts about him? I guess you asked for a reason. His training methods have influenced a lot of track and strength and conditioning coaches. Less volume, more intensity. Yeah, I do. I mean, I think it depends on the athlete, but I do like for somebody like me, I think yeah. I do think it depends on the athlete, but I do think a lot of it is good work, and I think it works but again, I think it depends on the athlete, to be honest. But in general, I'm kind of in favour of that, I'll be honest. But I think it depends on the athlete, because I have seen as well that some athletes do better off a bit more. So it depends on the athlete. I know it's such a but I think, like I said, when you're like coming from an athlete's perspective as well, and you work, like I've trained with so many different athletes, I've been under a number of different like training programs as well. I know what works for me. So I know in this, like in terms of less volume, more intensity for me, yeah. And I think more intensity in general, especially for a sprinter, right? But I think he was interesting, and he was influenced by Soviet-style coaches. However, a lot of them were on pairs, so it's still quite controversial. Yeah. But the thing is, if you're on drugs, then you can train. There's a way that you can train that you can't train when you're not, or your body can recover quicker, and all that kind of stuff. So I think it depends on the athlete in general. But I think I just think there's a balance there's a balancing act to it. But I think there's always something in that. Like, I just think where I'm at now, I'm just like, especially if we're talking, if you want to do sprinting, I'm not really a fan anymore of like the whole just doing long slow stuff for the sake of it when you're trying to sprint. I don't really agree with that, to be honest, anymore. Obviously over a long period of time, I think maybe if I get someone who's very new, they need like a bit more general fitness. But then yeah, I think getting a bit more specific, so, and sprinting is very high intensity, so the more you can begin to train someone in that, I think it's, personally, that's my preference, my way of going. When would you start using blocks? So many different periodization models that work. Yeah, exactly. When would you start using block if you wanted to race indoors in January? I'll probably start like maybe earliest end of November, but maybe December more so. I think also it depends who I'm working with and how much they need to do. Like, if someone's very trained and have a long training history, they don't need as long per se. And also, because you're kind of using indoors as a way to refine it anyway, you're going to do it throughout the indoors, and it's going to be part of the trainings, quote unquote. Unless you're really unless you're someone who's like, oh, I want to go to the worlds this year and it's like a chance to gain a major title, then indoors is training itself anyway, so you're going to do it throughout that whole period. But it depends how many weeks somebody needs. But December, more likely December, to be honest. So you get like a good 4 weeks, and then it kind of goes into Captain Britain's question, because the more you train, the more chances you have to touch blocks. You may not be doing a whole block session, but even if you can touch blocks like at the beginning of a session, you get to touch it multiple times in a week. Whereas if you only train 1 or 2 times, you don't have a lot of time to touch. If you've got 2 sessions a week and you can't take up all the 2 sessions doing technical stuff because you need to get fit, right? And so therefore you only do once a week, that's 4 times. Whereas if you train like 3 times, that's potentially 12 times that you could potentially touch blocks. So yeah, I'll probably say December. But yeah, I think volume work in the winter is great, and then transition into a specific training phase, in my opinion. Yeah, fair enough. I think like I said, I think yes, I agree to an extent, but I disagree. I think the longer I'm in the sport, the more I don't see I have to go, like the long slow stuff. The volume, yes, I definitely do agree. The more volume in the winter, I do agree. That part is not a no, but it's just like what that means. I have a different opinion of what that means, or what it looks like now versus maybe what I was doing like 15 years ago. So that's the only thing. So I do definitely agree, winter, more volume, and it transitions into more specific. But I think you can be more specific from earlier, especially if you're trying to be like, sprinting is so skill based. I just think it's just hard. Like you're training like when people go for a jog, you run very differently to how you sprint. So doing these long runs where you run like that, and then now we're specific phase, and it's like, okay, now let's change all the technique. It's like, why don't we start doing, like, if you're trying to change an athlete's way of running, then it's like you need to condition them from early in that sense. That's my personal opinion, because it's very hard to change the way someone runs, and when you leave it late, it's hard to change it. That's the point. That's what I mean. So I definitely agree with the volume in winter, but I think what I mean by that, or what I think it looks like, is a bit different now. That's my only thing, just because of the whole, like, more so the actual implementation of it, or like, especially if you have like younger athletes or less trained people, or people who take a lot longer to become more coordinated. If you're waiting until the last minute, I say last minute, but now we're already in specific phase, now we're already in competition season, it's very hard to make those changes. That's my personal opinion. I think build up work capacity with 200, 300, 400 meter training. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. But that's my point. You're saying 200, 300, 400, but a lot of times some people's general is it's not that. It's other long stuff. And then even if you're saying those, it's how are you doing those? What's the execution of those? What does it look like? Because it can be different as well. That's the only thing. that you have the tolerance to recover for the shorter ones like 60 and 100. No, I definitely agree, but it's like, again, what does it look like in a session? How fast are those runs? How are they executed? Like all of that stuff. Sometimes it's like, yeah, a lot of times we know when some people are very fatigued, their form goes completely out the window. So how do we avoid them getting into those bad positions and habits that we don't want? That's just what I mean by that as well. Rifupna Ramakrishnan, sorry if I'm saying that so badly wrong, I apologize. Hey ma'am, I participated state school and I ran my personal best 12:46, congratulations. At the age of 16, I got selected in national school games, congratulations again. Thank you for your video, it is very useful to me. Oh, you're very, very welcome. Rithupna, am I even close to saying your name right? Sorry, but congratulations, and I'm really glad the videos have been helpful to you. Work on proper sprinting technique. That's what Russ is saying. Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But no, I definitely agreed. Volume, more volume. That's how we do train. More volume, and we decrease, and the intensity gets up, and all that stuff. I agree. It's just more so I'm thinking very specifically, like, what does that mean? What does it look like? Because I think most people agree on the like volume, but like, and then getting more specific, blah blah blah. But it's just like, what does it actually look like? I think that's just what I mean. And because again, I've seen a lot of different things, and I've done a lot of different things, and I have worked with not just coaching but train as an athlete as well, and it depends on the athlete as well. But yeah, that's just my little humble opinion. Who cares what I think? Really, who cares what I think? But yeah, that's my little humble opinion. But yes guys, got about 10 minutes or 9 minutes. If you still have anything that you would like to ask or say or suggest, I really am always looking to learn and grow, just saying what I think or what I have come to believe or see, or you know, obviously the blessing of being in sport, fitness, all of these things is that there's a coach for everybody, potentially a training style for everybody, and there's many roads that lead to Rome, as they say. So that's the good thing. There might be a generic or general, but it's working out what works for you, what works for your athletes, and adapting it in that way as well. So great conversations. Do you guys have anything else that you want to add? Anything else that you want to say? The sun is setting. We're now on GMT time, so it's gonna get dark probably like in the next 20 minutes. The sun's already setting. Do you have any more questions, guys? Anything else you want to add? My leg is getting a bit numb. It's a bit weird. For me to start 80 meters is cool, but why 90 meters automatically I lose my race? So you're saying when you run 80, I would say you just need to work on your speed maintenance, okay? Your speed endurance most likely is where, if you're saying up to 80, but it's that last 10 meters, then you need to work on your speed endurance. So you know, it might not be winter where you are, but at this point where you go into off season or you're not competing, it's like what Russ has been talking about in the chat, what we've been speaking about. It's building that capacity, building that volume, so you're able to hold your speed for longer, over longer distances. So you've got to do training where you run a bit further than the distance that you want to sprint, right? So that you can actually get better at holding your speed. Yeah, so trying to start doing some of that training so that you can hold your speed for a bit longer. That would be good. Speed endurance work, intensive tempo work, that sort of thing. Did you ever watch the athletics documentary Personal Best? I did, you know. I now have to try to remember it because it came out such a long time ago. about the build up to the London 2012 Olympic. Imagine 2012 was that long ago now. I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it. Anyway, I did watch it. Yeah, I did watch it. Yeah, I did watch it. I did watch it. Personal best. Watched, yeah, all these little documentaries they bring out. I have watched them. To be fair, Sprint was good. I thought they were gonna do another. They might still do it. I mean, when the other one finished, they were meant to do one for the Worlds that's just gone. I think they're meant to follow the athletes there, so maybe they've done that as well. But it was good. What did you think about it, Russ? You brought it up for a specific reason. Ooh, getting cold now, guys. Gonna stay out here for about 5 more minutes. I'm saying getting cold, I've been cold, but now my feet are starting to feel it. Maybe that's why I'm getting a bit numb. Alrighty. Alright, my peoples. Alright, my peoples. Any more questions? Any more comments? Any more thoughts? All of that good stuff. Because it is getting... Oh, I know why it's extra cold. Because the sun has gone down. That's why, yes. At least a little piece of sunlight was just helping me a little bit. That extra couple of degrees was making me freeze. Alright. I didn't even mean to rhyme there. Look at that. Alright, guys. Thank you for those of you who did decide to join me today and be a little bit interactive. You guys were rather quiet today. I guess it was interesting to see what happens to that cohort of athletes that were around at the time. Yeah, I have to even go and watch it, rewatch it again now. Obviously, London 2012 is like, it was my, you know, that was my time or our era or whatever. So it is interesting. It's always interesting. Sport is so unpredictable. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember. No, it was good. Do you train youth athletes? Do I train youth athletes? Yes, I do. Youth athletes, masters athletes, senior age athletes. So yes, we do. Just about to ask what your thoughts. Just about to ask what you thought of sprint. Okay, I like sprint. This is one of the reasons I like sprint, right? Is for the fact that people who are not in track and field, because most of the time track and field stuff is for people that love track and field. So if you don't love track and field, people are not watching it. They don't like it. They're not interested. They don't understand the realness of what goes into this sport, right? To be an athlete, how you have to train, what you have to sacrifice, like how hard it is, all of that good stuff. Why I like sprint is because no matter the fact, even though it was basically just Americans, like that was it pretty much, yeah. Why it was good, and obviously they clearly had their favourites as to who they chose. Even though they had their favourites, why I liked it is because I had clients who are not even into track and field watching this thing, right? So people who are even outside of the sport got into the sport because of it. So that's why I liked it, because it actually did help you. Oh no. Kidding me? You're actually kidding me? Am I still live? Maybe it's gonna come back. It's just shut off completely. Am I back, guys? I think so. It just cut off. I'm gonna end up now anyway. It just shut off. Sorry, guys. But my battery's about to die. I just finished what I'm saying. But yeah, it just got other people outside of the sport into it, and it helped give a good insight as to what it's like as an athlete for real. And I think that was why it was good. Even though I had my opinions about who they chose, blah blah blah, personalities they chose, whatever. That side aside, but I liked it for that fact. And yes, I was in Fast Girls. Had the privilege of being a Fast Girls. That was fun times. Last question. Yes, Ross, we'll have to catch up again soon. Yeah, I hope you've been well otherwise, and that things have like been on the up for you this year. Jarvis Coleman, when you're training athletes in blocks, do you tell them to keep their elbows bent or straight while in the blocks? I get them to keep them straight. Yeah, the bent one you can do, but I personally get them to keep it straight. I get them to create tension through everywhere and keep the elbows straight. Personal, that's the way that I coach it. You can do bent arms, but it's not my preference. I don't really, because most of the time, especially for young athletes or untrained people, they do this thing where they push back and then do this. I don't like it, so I just get them to keep the arms straight. So I hope that answers your question, Jarvis. Yeah, I think they waste energy. They don't do it the way that, yeah. So I think you have to be a bit more disciplined skill wise before you do that. So yeah, personal preference, that's the way that I coach it, straight arms. But yes guys, thank you for joining me. We have done a whole hour, so I am gonna go. Any other questions that you guys have, let us know in the comment under any video and we'll be happy to answer them. I hope it's been helpful, these lives, and yeah, stay blessed guys, and hopefully see you next month by the grace of God. Stay blessed and I'll see you guys soon. Bye guys.